Hello and welcome to this special edition of ONTV News. I'm Kayla Brandon. Here in the Orion area, 2013 was full of fun and excitement with many festivals, concerts, and parades. The year also saw multiple fundraisers that benefited a wide variety of charitable causes, which demonstrates the generosity of those working and living in the Lake Orion community. 2013 kicked off with over 200 runners and walkers gathering in the village of Lake Orion for the start of the New Year's resolution run. The temperature was in the low 20s and there was snow and ice to be concerned about, but that didn't seem to deter the participants, who ranged in age from children to senior citizens. The 5K route takes runners and walkers through the downtown area, including the surrounding neighborhoods. The annual event acts as a fundraiser for the Downtown Development Authority.
I would say it's definitely become a tradition for people that live in and around Lake Orion. We've been consistent with our numbers, the number of people that register for the race year after year, and I would just say that this is certainly a tradition for many people. And working with Hanson's, they do all of our race management. They have a wonderful group of people that they work with, and I think they bring a lot of people to this community as well.
Crossing the finish line first was Matt Fecht of Warren, who finished with a time of 16:30.
It's better than sleeping in. Get up, get a good start to the day, and for me it's just like any other day. Probably a little bit less sleep from last night.
The first female to cross the line was Sarah Ropp of Auburn Hills, who finished with a time of 19:37. It was her first time competing in the resolution run.
I was happy with my finish. Not as fast as I would have liked, but the roads were kind of slushy, so I'll take it.
In January, we here at ONTV were saddened to learn that longtime resident and former Orion Township clerk Jill Bastian passed away on Sunday, January 13th, at the age of 66, after a long battle with breast cancer. Jill was a community activist before deciding to run for the office of Township Clerk in 1996, when former clerk Marie English decided not to run for re-election. Bastian was elected to the office of clerk by Orion voters and took the oath of office in December of 1996.
Oh, well, I just think it's so incredible because I just feel like it's so great to be able to possibly represent this community, possibly serve them. I feel like the community has spoken. This election, quite frankly, I've thought all along was like a referendum on what kind of community we're going to have. And there has been some very different opinions on what this community was going to become. And it seems to me now that some of us who think that we've been listening maybe better to the community are going to get a chance to actually represent the community and try to help it become the kind of community we think it can be.
Jill held the office for 12 years and turned her duties over to current Township Clerk Penny Schultz in 2008. Penny told us that her predecessor helped her ease into the position and offered her support and encouragement.
Jill's always been involved. She was a public servant and she gave her life away serving others. She wanted to be involved for the betterment of the community, whether it was working on the safety path or working at the Friends of the Library. She was always engaged.
After 4 months of planning, ONTV went live on the air at 10 a.m. on Saturday, February 9th, with a food drive benefiting Oxford Orion Fish. The week leading up to the food drive saw thousands of pounds of food dropped off at our studios. The hard work of Lake Orion High School and Good Shepherd Lutheran School students pushed our pre-show totals close to the goal of 6,000 pounds. As the week wore on, food poured in from numerous sources and local businesses worked hard as well, collecting food and donating items for our raffle. As the live show hit the air, people streamed in through our doors at the Orion Center, dropping off their contributions, resulting in 7,000 pounds of donations. Live bands provided entertainment throughout the day, and the final tally, residents and businesses from Lake Orion and Oxford helped raise close to 8,000 pounds of food and over $1,200 in cash. On Saturday, March 2nd, well over 200 attendees arrived at Addison Oaks to show support for the Orion Art Center. The theme of the gala was the Golden Age of Hollywood, and those in attendance enjoyed dinner and music. Area businesses and artists donated items for a live auction and to fill raffle baskets. The money raised at the event helps the Art Center fund scholarships and allows the center to offer programs and classes throughout the year.
I am so grateful for our community support, for the people who are out here supporting us tonight, for all of these businesses that have donated to help the Art Center. I mean, truly, it's heartwarming to me.
The highlight of the evening came when the executive director handed out 2 awards. Recognized as 2013's Artist of the Year was Lake Orion resident Yolanda Garfield.
The Art Center is so important to me and to other artists who live in this area because they give us a venue by which we can show our work and also learn new things. So it's really wonderful.
Also recognized that evening was Rob Kavanaugh, who had been the Dragon Boat race director for the past 3 years. Kavanaugh was named 2013's Patron of the Year.
I'm absolutely honored. It's flattered and very honored. I'm really proud to be in Lake Orion and celebrate the lake in the town. And honestly, it's absolutely just fun to kind of create one of Lake Orion's biggest family festival parties and bring everybody together and watch everybody just kind of having a great time downtown.
In March, computer hackers targeted the websites of the Village of Lake Orion and the Lake Orion Police Department. Both sites were taken down after the intrusion was detected. Visitors to the site saw warnings about malicious software that might be harmful to their computer. A similar string of incidents had taken place all over the world by the organization known as Silent. The village has since upgraded its online security. Also in March, it was announced that village manager Paul Zelenik would be leaving to accept a position with Linden, Michigan, beginning April 18th. Mr. Zelenik tendered his resignation to the Lake Orion Village Council at their regular meeting on Monday, March 11th. Village Council President Ken Van Portfleet accepted the resignation and praised Zelenik's work at the helm of the village over the past 5 years. His final day on the job was Wednesday, April 10th. Zelenik appeared as a guest on the ONTV program Orion Now with Township Supervisor Chris Barnett and looked back at his stint as village manager.
But it's a great community to work in, and I tell everybody, I said, I am leaving. I'm looking forward to the opportunities that are going to take place in Linden. But I know they're going to get another manager in here that will have a lot of great ideas, will have a lot of new ideas, and will have a different expertise. And I think that's what you really need. You do need change that does occur over a certain period of time. I realize when somebody's in a position for a lot of years, you can get a lot of added benefit by having the past knowledge of the community and try to be able to move it forward. But it's nice to get somebody new in here, and I'm sure the next person that they're going to get in, and they're already starting that process.
Right.
And hopefully by the 1st of June or 1st of July that they'll have somebody in and be able to work with you on a lot of great activities and initiatives that you're starting.
Anyone visiting the Orion Center on Saturday, March 16th, may have noticed bunny tracks in the snow. That's when Orion Township hosted its annual Bunny Bop. More than 100 children and their parents gathered at the Orion Center to enjoy a variety of events. The day started off with a pancake breakfast, and kids were encouraged to get creative with some Easter-themed crafts. Of course, there were plenty of photo opportunities as families posed with the Easter Bunny. The snow outside forced the Easter egg hunt to be moved inside, but the kids didn't seem to mind as they hunted down the toy-filled eggs and candy. It was the first time the event was held at the Orion Center. That same day, 47 teams of 5th graders representing every elementary school within the Lake Orion School District, including St. Joseph's Catholic School, gathered at Scripps Middle School for the 2013 Battle of the Books. The event is organized by the Orion Township Library, and teams were recruited way back in November of 2012. Each team was given a list of 15 books to read over the next several months. Many schools spawned multiple teams, with each team coming up with a creative name and its members sporting colorful costumes. During the event, librarians asked questions or presented quotes, challenging the teams to come up with the book's title and author. There were 50 questions in all.
This is a great event for the community. It's truly a community event. We have the schools participating, we have the parents participating, we have volunteers. It teaches children the love of reading. They come to the library. I am observing just the love of being together, the love of books, the enthusiasm that teamwork can bring.
The teams were invited to attend an award ceremony on Tuesday, March 19th at Lake Orion High School. Every team that participated was invited to come up on stage to receive a certificate, and some teams were recognized with the Best Costume Award or Most Creative Team Name. The team that was crowned champion of the 2013 Battle of the Books was the Question Marks, made up of students from Stadium Elementary and Orion Oaks.
Actually, what we really hope the kids get out of it is the possibility of picking up a couple of books that they might not otherwise have read and read them. And maybe they like it, maybe they don't, but at least they had the opportunity to find them. And usually most of the kids will say they picked up a couple they wouldn't have otherwise picked up and they actually kind of liked it. So just getting them reading, getting them enjoying reading, and then having fun at the actual event so they realize that reading can be fun, it can be social, it can be something that they can have for the rest of their lives. It doesn't have to just be about school and tests and all of that sort of thing. It can be fun too.
March 20th marked the official first day of spring, and once again, the Orion Center was the place to be. The Green Expo was held at the center for the second year in a row after being held at Canterbury Village for several years. More than 30 vendors set up tables offering information on parks and trails, health and nutrition, and more. Visitors were even greeted by a mini farmers market upon entering. In 2012, the event was held in April to coincide with Earth Day. In 2013, the event was moved up to the first day of spring. Later in March, a small army of volunteers known as Team Depot descended upon Fire Station 1 in the village to perform some long overdue remodeling. This station was built in 1980 to serve the village and has since been assimilated by the Orion Township Fire Department as one of 4 fire stations serving the area. Unfortunately, Station 1 went without any major remodeling efforts over the past decade or so, despite an increase in staff and activity.
When they originally built the station in 1980, it wasn't staffed. The call volume was not what it is today. And so more employees are down here, and the kitchen and other things that need to have to be able to have them function in their days is being fixed.
On March 26th, 30 volunteers from 8 area Home Depot stores arrived at the station to give rooms a fresh coat of paint, equip a new kitchen with appliances and cabinets, and to remodel a shower that hadn't been used in more than a decade. The volunteers spent several days at the station, using vacation days or time off to perform the work they needed. The Orion Firefighters Association provided lunch for the volunteers as a thank you for their efforts.
All of this is through the Home Depot Foundation, which is a nonprofit through Home Depot, and we believe in giving back to our veterans, our community, our senior citizens, and helping those in need.
On Wednesday, March 27th, the Orion Center was the site of the State of the Township Address, hosted by Township Supervisor Chris Barnett. The standing room only crowd enjoyed a 90-minute presentation as Supervisor Barnett was joined by Superintendent of Lake Orion Schools, Marian Janopoulos, and other local community leaders, as they shared their thoughts on the fiscal, business, and developmental climate here in Orion Township and the village of Lake Orion. On Friday, April 12th, ONTV hosted a ceremony to recognize the volunteers and producers that create the programs you see on ONTV. Staff, board members, volunteers, and producers gathered at Kings Court Castle at Canterbury Village for the 2013 Volunteer Appreciation Banquet. It was a time to reflect upon a year that brought significant changes to ONTV and to say thank you to those who volunteered their time behind the scenes and in front of the cameras.
Oh, they're amazing, and most of them really enjoy what they're doing, and it's really cool to see somebody come through orientation and have an idea for a program and learn how to actually bring it to completion.
We want to say thank you to all the people who came to ONTV on a whim to see if they can learn something about how to make a television show, and at the end of the year, it's us giving back to them to say thank you for trusting us and allowing us to help them put their vision together.
They say one man's trash is another man's treasure, and that could not be more true at the Orion Art Center. On April 24th, the Orion Art Center hosted an opening reception for its popular Recreate Recycled Art Show, sponsored by Waste Management. In its 5th year, the theme of this year's event was Transformation, and more than 60 pieces were submitted for consideration. Art Center Director Lauren Denowith handed out ribbons to the top finishers in their respective category, and $850 in prize money was awarded as well. In late April, the Friends of the Orion Township Public Library hosted a fundraiser that transformed the library into an evening in Paris. ONTV's Jesse Agnew was there at the event and put this story together.
Residents of Lake Orion poured into the township's library on Saturday, April 27th to experience a Passport to Spring. The event was made possible by the Friends of the Library, a group of dedicated volunteers who help make the objectives of the library possible. Passport to Spring was the first of its kind for the library. Traditionally, the Friends have raised funds through book sales, but never through a fundraiser of this scale. Over 200 guests enjoyed the elegant affair, complete with local art vendors, musical entertainment, wine tasting, and, of course, a mime. Upon entering the building, guests were greeted by the library's director, Karen Knox, who played an important role in making the event possible.
I work together with them. So the Friends are our main fundraisers, and they do events like this. They also do our book sales and other events to raise money, and then they give us the money to put on programs and offer services for the library. And so for this particular event, it was almost all volunteers. That's what the Friends are, all volunteers that were involved. And then I just kind of help liaison and give them some perspective and tell them what we can and cannot do within the library and go from there. So it was a really, really big joint effort.
Glasses were available for guests wanting to participate in the wine tasting and were handed out by Pat Bellinger, president of the Friends of the Library.
This night is just a fundraiser, and we don't have a particular event every year for the Friends. We do a few small things, but we never do anything big. So we thought this would be something big that we could, if it works out, we could do on an annual basis, in addition to our normal book sales. And those are very profitable, but there's nothing you say, oh, I went to the Friends night, and you're... So we hope everybody goes home and talks about the great night they had tonight. And next year they'll be back again,
Are you pleased with the turnout?
May we.
May we?
Yes. Very good.
There were also local performers, as well as an array of authentic French culture foods available. The Friends effectively utilized the entire library space, making for a unique experience. One area was dedicated to local vendors and wine tasting. Another area emulated the marvel of the Louvre with the work of talented student artists on display. Event organizers told us that they were pleased with the turnout.
Honestly, I was sitting at the front desk greeting everybody that was coming in, and really that was honestly the best time because it kind of came alive. We've been planning this event for a year, and so to see people actually show up, see this place transformed and having a good time, that was my favorite part.
Fundraisers like Passport to Spring allow the library to grow and adapt and continue to be relevant to the residents of the community. From the Orion Township Library, I'm Jessie Agnew reporting for ONTV News.
On Thursday, May 2nd, the Orion Chamber's monthly luncheon was hosted by the brand new Kensington Church facility on M24. The featured speaker was Orion Township Supervisor Chris Barnett, who talked about the rapid growth the Orion area is experiencing following a long period of recession. Barnett discussed a residential housing boom, which will hopefully benefit area businesses, and he wants the township and the chamber to work closely together to deal with the tremendous growth.
I hope they're optimistic. I hope they see that we are on the right track. There's a lot of not only potential growth, but now there's actually projects and shovels going in the ground. So it's exciting. I think, I want them to see it as an opportunity for their businesses to grow. So that's what I think. I think they caught the message a little bit. I got a lot of good feedback. So
later that day, the staff at the Orion Center celebrated its first anniversary with an open house. Members of the community were invited to enjoy food and refreshments while touring the facility that has become the place to be over the past year. The Parks and Rec staff moved into the facility in March of 2012, and the Senior Center followed in May of that year. The Orion Center houses many of the township's annual events and several expos, and its banquet rooms are available for wedding receptions, showers, and parties as well.
We're pretty active. We have about 750 seniors that are enrolled in our senior center programming that we have on site. We have about 110 people that are enrolled in our senior exercise program. We have an exercise room that has equipment in it, and that's for 62 and above. So we have about over 100 people that are now using that on a regular daily basis.
On May 11th, more than 230 runners and walkers gathered on a chilly Saturday morning at Friendship Park to take part in the North Oakland Community Coalition's Family Fun Color Run, the first of its kind held in Lake Orion. The event acted as a fundraiser through registration fees and sponsor donations. Participants were given a t-shirt and bags of colored cornstarch and were greeted by Township Clerk Penny Schultz, who is also a coalition board member. At precisely 10 a.m., the signal was given to start the run, among a cloud of color.
Okay, everybody throw your dust. Go! On your mark, get set, go!
It was the coolest thing ever. They didn't even care if they were cold. They just wanted to get the race started, and they wanted to start getting colored with this color dust. So it didn't seem like anybody minded, and it just filled my heart up with joy because we had planned and we had been engaged for a while, and we were glad to see that the whole community was also excited about the event.
The weather, it's very brisk today, but I'm so pleased with the result. I think everyone's going to have a blast. There was so much laughter and fun at the beginning of the race, and we're waiting to see people end here, so I think it's going to be a very, very great day for families.
One lap around the perimeter of the park equaled 1.5 miles. Most participants completed 2 laps for a total of 3 miles. Along the way, runners and walkers were dusted in various colors and ended up looking like walking rainbows by the time they crossed the finish line. Organizers were extremely pleased with the turnout, despite temperatures falling into the mid-40s at the start of the run. The NOCC plans on making it an annual event. On May 9th, the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce held its 9th annual Community Business Expo at Lake Orion High School. 110 Chamber of Commerce members representing businesses and nonprofit organizations set up shop in the field house during the high school's parent-teacher conferences. The free event attracted more than 800 visitors who were treated to information, food samples, and fun activities for the whole family.
It has definitely grown. It has more than doubled. We actually turned away vendors this year. That's how big it got. We started out in the cafeteria upstairs here at the high school, and it grew into the field house here, and this year we added 10 more tables, and we actually turned 10 businesses away. That's how popular it's been.
Oh, it's exciting. We have retailers, we have insurance, we have social services, we have a lot of nonprofit agencies in the community that are here with us today. We have our pizza war that's going on, that's fabulous. The kids absolutely love that. And the Taste of Orion, which is always fun too. We get to get out and see exactly what's available to us in the area.
During Mother's Day weekend, the Lake Orion DDA hosted its 13th annual Flower Fair in downtown Lake Orion. Once again, here's Jesse Agnew with the story.
The highly anticipated event was held on May 10th and 11th, just in time for Mother's Day. The 13th annual Flower Fair included local artists showcasing their work as well as vendors offering food, home improvement and landscaping materials, and of course a large array of beautiful flowers and plants. This year the DDA made several changes to the event, including moving the date up to early spring.
We made a lot of changes this year that I think have been turning out very nicely. We sort of organized all of our vendors into different streets in the downtown. We have Flower Alley here, which we're standing in front of. Home Improvement Way that has all of our home improvement vendors, backyard vendors. We have a business showcase and also our Arts and Crafts Boulevard, which has all of the juried home decor, art and craft vendors as well. So I think our reorganization of the event has made it really convenient for patrons that are visiting, and we have a couple of new activities as well.
Despite the chilly temperature, the event drew people to the intersection of Flint and Broadway to be a part of the unique experience that Lake Orion has to offer.
I'm very pleased to see all of the patrons coming downtown to shop the show. Having this event on a Friday, Saturday, as opposed to a Saturday, Sunday this year, we weren't really sure what to expect, and we've had a very steady crowd so far here on Friday. We also moved the fair up a little bit. This is, having it on Mother's Day weekend is a little earlier than we've had it. And again, I'm just very pleased to see so many people downtown shopping, wandering in and out of our stores that are here throughout the year. And it's just great to see so many people downtown.
The goal of the DDA is to bring people downtown Lake Orion to see what the village has to offer. And I can't think of a better way to do that and kickstart the summer than with food, art, and flowers for mom. From downtown Lake Orion, I'm Jesse Agnew with ONTV News.
Each year, Stadium Drive Elementary's PTO organizes a road rally for the school's students and their parents. This year's amazing race was held on Sunday, May 19th, as participants visited numerous locations throughout the township and the village. The event's final stop was the Orion Arts Center, where where students and staff members took part in a dedication of a brand new sign that marks the entrance to Meeks Park.
The sign is to announce the entrance to Meeks Park. Stadium Drive has the students there raised money for the sign, so we wanted to help show it off.
We would not have been able to do this. I think we've always had the intention of drawing more attention to the park here, but without the commitment from the students and their goal of raising funds to help us get the sign, we wouldn't have been able to do it without them.
On the morning of Sunday, May 19th, runners gathered for the start of the Dragon Dash at a new location. The start-finish line was set up on Joslyn Road across the street from the Orion Center. Walkers began their trek at 8:30 a.m. and runners got the signal to start at 9 a.m. A new course took participants south on Joslyn Road along the safety path, past Canterbury Village, through a subdivision, and then north along the same path that brought them back to the start-finish line. The entire race was shortened this year from 8K to 5K.
We decided to do a 5K this year. We just wanted to change it up. It'd been so many years that we'd been doing the Dragon Dash. We wanted to try something new. We're in a new site. We just decided to switch it up and try something new. This course is a lot safer because the runners do not run across Joslyn Road. They do have to cross it walking. They crossed at the crosswalk, which I feel is a lot safer than having the runners sprinting across to the finish line across Joslyn Road. So that was a big factor with why we changed the route up this year.
That same weekend, Basset Hound lovers from across the country gathered at Canterbury Village to celebrate their long-eared friends. In its 19th year, the Great American Basset Waddle is a 3-day event that culminated with a costume contest and parade on Sunday. It was estimated that more than 200 hounds participated in the event, which acts as a fundraiser for Michigan Basset Rescue.
They've got a passion for bassets. They've got the heart to care about the ones that don't have homes. So this is what this is about. We're raising funds to pay vet bills. Last year our vet bills were around $28,000 for the year. So we spay, neuter everybody. They all get vet check. They all get heartworm tested.
The dogs, right?
The dogs. We treat heartworm. Spay, neuter. Whatever they need, we do. Dentistries, lump removals. We had one with a broken leg on Christmas Eve, required emergency care, and so we were able to take care of that because of this.
On Wednesday, May 22nd, Orion Township hosted the North Oakland Caregiver and Senior Expo at the Orion Center. More than 60 vendors set up shop inside the Orion Center, offering a wide range of services and products ranging in categories from health and fitness to legal and financial issues. Over 600 seniors attended the 4-hour expo. On Monday, May 27th, the citizens of Lake Orion came out in droves to help remember the men and women who have fought and died in the United States Armed Forces. Memorial Day ceremonies began early in the morning and went on throughout the day in various locations around Lake Orion. On Saturday, June 1st, hundreds of people came together for the 8th annual Orion-Oxford Relay for Life. Almost 400 people formed 29 teams to take part in the 24-hour event. Relay for Life is an inspirational phenomenon, primarily created to raise money for cancer research and prevention. In addition to walking the path throughout Friendship Park, teams were able to raise money by organizing games and selling items such as bracelets and holding raffles. On Saturday, June 8th, Orion Township gave bargain hunters a chance to hit multiple sellers in one area at the same time. More than 50 sellers reserved parking spaces in the lot of the Orion Center for Orion Township's annual Closet Cleanout. In past years, the event had been held in Friendship Park, but attendees seemed to enjoy the new location. Visitors were able to browse through household items and collectibles in search of a bargain. The event ran from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and although free to the public, the proceeds raised from seller fees helps the township offer programs and events throughout the year. The township raised additional money through the sale of hot dogs and refreshments. Lake Orion High School's commencement ceremony was held at DTE Music Theater on Tuesday, June 11th. It was the second year for LOHS at DTE, and the venue was perfect for the occasion. The ceremony was filled with inspirational speeches and moving musical performances. The class of 2013 had over 600 graduates, making it one of the largest in school history.
And now, please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to the left side. Congratulations, you have officially graduated.
In June, FBI agents and local law enforcement officers were drawn to a parcel of land located on the northeast corner of Adams and Orion Road intersection following a tip from former mobster Tony Zarelli. Zarelli claimed that former Lake Orion resident Jimmy Hoffa was buried in a shallow grave on the site. After 3 days of digging, the search was called off after no sign of Hoffa turned up. On Wednesday, June 19th, the Lake Orion DDA's Farmers Market kicked off its 2013 season on a parcel of land next to the Orion Arts Center. In its 5th year, a dozen vendors set up tents to sell farm-fresh produce, kettle corn, and other tasty treats.
Well, I can say that we really have the best of locally grown, whether it be organics, if you're interested in that line. We have wonderful meats and eggs and produce, but just to support things that are locally grown and not necessarily jump for Walmart, come and help these people live their dreams and do their farming and experience the best Michigan has to offer in the summer.
51 North Brewery quietly opened its doors in January of 2013, and the restaurant received favorable reviews. 5 months later, the Chamber of Commerce and the DDA officially welcomed the brewery to the community with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. On Thursday, June 20th, officials, friends, family, and staff gathered in front of 51 North Brewery to celebrate its official grand opening. The microbrewery and restaurant is owned by Mary and Don Gindhart of Troy.
We're truly excited to be here. It's nice to jump in. We've been open for a number of months, but I wanted to make sure that this was a nicer day for something like this. But becoming part of the community is a big part of this whole operation. So jumping in with the Chamber of Commerce, helping out the community at large is a very, very big thing for 51 North.
Yeah, I think it means a lot to the downtown, especially on this end of the town. We haven't really had any restaurants. We're expanding this area now, and I think we'll attract a lot more business on this end of the town.
In 2013, the Lake Orion Lions Club celebrated its 75th year of existence. The organization held its largest fundraiser of the year over 4 days in June. For more than 40 years, the Lake Orion Lions Jubilee is an event that brings the community together while raising funds for a worthy cause. 4 years ago, the event was moved to the grounds of Canterbury Village, which has become the event's permanent home. The Jubilee was held from Thursday, June 20th through Sunday, June 23rd. Skirbick Brothers Shows provides a wide variety of rides for visitors of all ages, as well as carnival games and food. The proceeds generated during the 4-day event is split between Skirbick and the Lions Club, which allows the organization to serve numerous charitable organizations in the area.
We do all kinds of local things. We help needy families and children with eyeglasses and hearing aids. We do scholarships for the high school students. We help out with a food program at Christmas time. We've got leader dogs. We're even giving money to Paws for the Cause. We got all kinds of different charities and individuals that we help out all over the community.
On Wednesday, June 24th, friends and coworkers gathered at the Klansman Pub in Canterbury Village to bid farewell to Diane Griffiths, who stepped down as ONTV's longtime executive director. Diane originally got involved with public access 26 years ago when she wanted to learn more about her home video camera. Her first production was Bedtime Tales with the library's Linda Nixon. Just a few years later, she was hired as administrator for the Cable Commission. When ONTV was formed as a nonprofit in 2001, Diane was named executive director.
I hope to accomplish having a place where people could come and make video, anything that they wanted to. I also looked at it as a place to provide information about Lake Orion and cover events in Lake Orion, because it was Channel 4 covers things in Detroit and the big cities and all that, but nobody comes out to do things like the Battle of the Books at the library, that kind of thing. So cover community events and give residents a place to come and create video and make it a comfortable, inviting place to be.
Hired to replace Diane is ONTV's operations manager, Ian Locke. He told us he has some very big shoes to fill.
we're working together to make sure everything is easily transitioned as possible. But definitely, I was mentioned, big shoes to fill, definitely. It's hard to come into an organization where someone has so much influence, so much experience, and just has been a fixture of the organization for so long as Diane has. I'll just do the best I can, and that's all I can hope for.
The Midwest Highland Games, formerly known as the Scottish Festival, was held at Canterbury Village on June 29th and 30th. The Scottish American Society of Michigan partnered with the village to put on the event. In its third year, the event has evolved into a grand celebration of Scottish heritage and tradition. There were demonstrations of Highland dancing, storytelling, and activities for the kids. Guests were also invited to learn the rules and take part in a traditional game of cricket. Border Collies, known for their origins in Scotland, demonstrated their remarkable sheep herding skills. Bands entertained guests throughout the day with both traditional Scottish tunes and modern rock songs. The highlight of the event, of course, were the Highland Games, which included caber tossing and stone throwing.
Well, we have it every year here at Canterbury Village. This is our third annual being involved, but there's been Scottish festivals here for well over 20 years. As you can see, we've got plenty of great stuff going on. Our whole goal with the Scottish American Society of Michigan is to preserve and further the Scottish culture and heritage here in Michigan and beyond. And that's what we do. We promote not only our own festivals, we try to bring all the Scots together, but we also promote other Scottish organizations, different festivals, different events, and it's all about family. It's all about kids. About once or twice a day, I'll just step back from everything and everybody and just listen to the sounds, the sights, the smells, and just hear the laughter. And that's when I see the kids laughing, when I see the adults smiling, when I see them dancing. That's it. You know you've done something really good when you can see that.
Over the past 3 years, the event here at Canterbury Village has been evolving, and next year organizers promise more changes, such as more bands, dancing, and piping. But one thing never changes, and that's the preservation and celebration of Scottish heritage and tradition. Reporting from Canterbury Village, I'm Jessie Agnew with ONTV News.
On July 1st, Darwin McClary was officially appointed to the position of village manager, filling the position vacated by Paul Zelenik. McClary was selected to act as interim village manager on April 11th after a recommendation by the Michigan Municipal League. McClary had once served as a village manager in Oxford in the 1990s and was previously employed as city manager for Garden City and East Point. McClary was invited to be a guest on the program Orion Now in November.
Well, it has definitely been a very busy 7 months. I've been amazed at just how busy our small village really is.
Right.
Being just 1.3 square miles, 3,000 people, I never anticipated that village government at that level, at that size, could be as busy as it is. But we have a lot going on, and it's been exciting for me coming back home.
Orion Township hosted its annual Summer Sizzle event on July 16th, and it sure lived up to its name. Temperatures soared into the high 90s during the township's 4th annual Summer Sizzle, a free event that offered something for visitors of all ages, including food, games, information, and entertainment. The number of attendees almost doubled the numbers from years past. Those manning the grill served up 500 hot dogs within the first 90 minutes of the event. It was the first time the Summer Sizzle was held on the grounds of the Orion Center, after spending the past several years at Civic Center Park. The change in location gave visitors an opportunity to escape the heat and step inside the air-conditioned Orion Center. The event was made possible thanks to sponsorship from several local businesses.
What do I think about it this year? I think it's hot. I think it's very, very hot, but it's wonderful to have the community center where we can bring people in and out to enjoy the outdoor activities and the indoor activities without compromising anybody's health. It's fantastic.
To say thanks to the community for supporting all the parks programming and the community events that we do. So we're really happy.
Do you think they do a good job putting it all on?
Yeah, staff has worked really hard. I think that we had a lot of volunteers today from local church groups and kids, and it's been great. We've had just a good event.
Canterbury Village was the site of the 7th annual Hot Blues and Barbecue Festival on Saturday, July 20th. 9 different blues acts performed throughout the day, including Sweet Willie T, Big Smooth, Broken Arrow Blues Band, and the Boa Constrictors, with headliner Greg Nagy bringing things to a close at the end of the night. There was a bounce house for the kids and plenty of good barbecue to keep blues fans satisfied throughout the day. The event, hosted by Detroit Blues Society, had been held in Oxford for a number of years, but after a 2-year hiatus, the festival was moved to the grounds of Canterbury Village for the first time. On Wednesday, July 24th, the Orion Art Center hosted a reception for its 2nd annual Hope and Healing Art Show. There were approximately 30 submissions on display, representing a variety of media. There were no judges, no prizes or ribbons. The show was just an opportunity for those whose lives have been touched by cancer to express themselves through art.
It's wonderful because it's art and personal stories about cancer survivors or caregivers. So anyone who's been touched by cancer can submit a piece of artwork and then tell a story about that piece of artwork, how the art helped them in their therapy, in their treatment, in going through the challenge of cancer.
A lot of times people can't express themselves with words, so what they do is they express themselves with art. It's a way of getting their feelings out and a way of helping them to share how they're feeling with other people.
On Thursday, August 1st, over 350 kids gathered on the grounds of Lake Orion High School for the Miguel Cabrera baseball camp. It was the first time Cabrera has attached his name to a camp like this, and he was there to interact with the kids and give them advice. Cabrera was named American League MVP for the 2nd year in a row at the end of the baseball season. After handing out a few souvenirs and posing for photos, Cabrera said his goodbyes before heading back to Comerica Park.
Hello? You guys have fun? Yeah! Me too. I want to say thank you very much for this. It's an honor, it's a pleasure. Be part of this. I feel bad because I gotta go, bro. I gotta do some treatments. I gotta be ready to play tomorrow. So thank you very much. Thank you. See you soon.
Orion Township's Big Rig Gig was held at Friendship Park on Friday, August 2nd. In its 10th year, dozens of vehicles of all shapes and sizes were on display, and kids were encouraged to climb inside. Vehicles ranged from tow trucks and garbage trucks to police cruisers and fire trucks. The concept was originally proposed by program supervisor Jennifer Vesna, who was inspired by her own son's fascination with trucks.
What am I seeing? I am seeing a lot of families having a good time, and that, to me, is a huge success. Parents, kids, having fun, laughing, making memories that will take them into their adulthood. That's what it's all about, right?
2013 marked the 80th anniversary of the premiere of the Lone Ranger radio program, which was broadcast from WXYZ Radio in Detroit. Oxford and Lake Orion joined forces to celebrate the milestone, since Oxford resident Grace Beamer voiced the character on radio from 1941 to 1954.
Hi-ho, Silver!
There were numerous events that took place over the course of several weeks, including a reenactment of an episode of the Lone Ranger radio program at the Orion Center. The festivities culminated with Oxford's Lone Ranger Days, and ONTV's Catherine Havrilla was there.
The community of Oxford gathered today to celebrate their most famous resident, Grace Beamer, the voice of the radio Lone Ranger. The event had many activities that encouraged visitors to celebrate the thrilling days of yesteryear. Hundreds of people came to downtown Oxford in memory of Grace Beamer, with a parade, a museum exhibit, as well as a business expo and craft fair. Fun was in big supply for participants. Organizers were filled with good things to say about the event.
We've been working on this for a few months, and that is a very positive thing because many times you do an event like this, it takes over a year in planning. We literally put this together in about 4.5 months with a budget of about $3,000. And I think it was quite successful. I think both communities really enjoyed it today, and of course the good weather added a lot to it as well.
One large part of the festival was the Lone Ranger exhibit displayed in the Northeast Oakland Historical Museum.
We're lucky to get a collection from
a resident that had a huge collection of Lone Ranger material, and he loaned it to us, so we've got like 3 cabinets full of his collection, and we have one of our own that's been here permanently. So we put that on, and we put people outside here to help get us some more membership and get donations for the Brace Beamer statue, which we hope to build in Centennial Park.
A special guest made an appearance at the museum. Bob Daniels, Brace Beamer's grandson, spent time talking to visitors about memories of his grandfather.
I was 14 when he passed away, so I remember him really well. You know, it's a funny thing that really, I didn't get that he was the Lone Ranger really until I was about 9 years old when he did an appearance at a boys' camp. The reaction people tended to have around him was one of, this man just entered the room if it was indoors, and he just filled up the room. He was 6'3½", weighed 200 pounds. He had that huge booming voice, and when he walked in the room, you knew he was there. And kids just immediately were mesmerized and attentive, and you know, he could have asked them to, you know, rub their bellies and pat their heads 3 times, and they'd have done it that fast.
When I was growing up, my dad knew Brace, and he would take us out to the farm, and Brace always, when there was people around, he'd dress up like the Lone Ranger, and he'd hand out the silver bullets, and we always had carrots to feed Silver. But my biggest memory of Brace is he was a very commanding person, and when you're a little guy and you look at this 6'4" person with this booming voice, it's just, you're awestruck.
Brace Beamer lived in Oxford on Drainer Road. Many visitors stopped by his old home, including Shirley Ann Maylock. She was a child voice actor for the radio show. Not only did she work with Brace Beamer, she also worked with his predecessor, who died in an auto accident. Looking back, she can remember Brace Beamer's first show as the Lone Ranger.
But I was on the program that Brace first did after Earl Grosser was killed in an auto accident, and it was very nerve-wracking for him and for the whole cast. You know, that was quite a transition to go from one voice to the other. In radio, you define people by their voices. But, you know, Brace, once he got going, you could see him reaching his stride, and he was fine. He was fine. And what a wonderful voice. We all know that.
With the success of this year's Lone Ranger Days, many organizers hope to make it an annual event. At the very least, they hope to raise funds to erect a statue in Brace Beamer's honor right here in Centennial Park. In Oxford, I'm Catherine Havrilla, ONTV News.
While that was going on in Oxford, Elvis fans were gathering at Canterbury Village for Elvis Fest. 5 different tribute artists represented Elvis from different eras, and ONTV's Joe Johnson, a lifelong Elvis fan himself, had a blast covering the event.
On Saturday, August 3rd, Elvis fans gathered on the grounds of Canterbury Village for Elvis Fest. 5 award-winning tribute artists, all from Michigan, represented Elvis from various periods throughout his career. Chris Solano of Ann Arbor performed hits from the mid-50s when Elvis was still recording at Sun Studio in Memphis. Dan and Melissa Velk had just gotten married at the chapel at Canterbury Village when they came over to enjoy Elvis Fest before the reception. Solano called the newlyweds up on stage and serenaded them with I Was the One, creating a lasting wedding day memory.
I was the one. Hey man, congratulations to you.
A wonderful coincidence, and definitely love the gang.
So talk about being up there. That was a pretty special moment. Talk about how that happened.
I have no idea, but it was just wonderful. Serendipity. It was meant to be.
Yes, very much so.
Oh, see right. See what you have done.
Well, first of all, the waistline wouldn't work out with the. Actually, when I was 40 pounds heavier than this, was when I started doing it, and so everybody knows that skinny little Elvis didn't start out in 1956 weighing 260 pounds. So, I kind of dispensed with that. Besides, you know, Jumpsuit Era, he redid all those songs, so there are 70s versions of them, and I felt more comfortable in the jumpsuit, you know, with my weight the way it was. I've been losing quite a bit. And so another 25, 30 pounds, we're going black leather, baby.
Yeah?
Yeah.
One last thing, when you're out on stage, is it as fun as it looks up there? What's getting the reaction from the crowd, specifically the women? What's it like up there on stage having fun?
Oh, it is murder. Oh my God! No, it's fantastic. It's just as great as you think it would be. I mean, you've got the greatest fans in the world. You're paying tribute to the greatest entertainer in the world, and hopefully you do a good job at it. And you feed off them, they feed off you, and it's just like a family reunion and a party at the same time. It's just fantastic.
The king may be gone, but his legend lives on through his music and the performers who continue to introduce Elvis to a new generation of fans. In Orion Township, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ONTV News.
I took the blows and did it
Thank you.
Lake Orion Community Schools asked for a special election to take place on August 6th regarding two separate bond proposals. The first proposal was seeking $28.7 million over a 19-and-a-half-year bond term for projects deemed essential based on a careful evaluation of the district's needs. Both bonds were rejected by voters. Proposal A received 58.4% no votes, and Proposal B was shot down with 58.7% of the voters voting no. On Saturday, August 17th, the annual Maya Mile was held in honor of Lake Orion High School graduate Jeremiah Hargut, a victim of suicide in 2011. Participants met at the LOHS track, where they learned about mental illness that can lead to suicide and remembered loved ones lost. Money raised was donated to the organization Common Ground.
We not only get 1 mile out of this, we do 1 mile for all those that come to support the cause, but then we also do our best mile for Maya, and the support's been phenomenal. Everybody seems to be having a good time. We've got a DJ, and they seem to have turned the track into a dance floor, so that's always fun.
Friday, August 23rd, marked the end of the summer for a lot of Lake Orion residents who gathered together for a 3-day festival of fun. And what better way to end the first evening of the festival than with the lighted boat parade? With cash prizes donated by Ray C's Extreme Store in Lapeer, judges were looking for the best decorations, eye appeal, and lighting of the bunch. The downtown area was decorated with art from over 50 national and local artists, Saturday, August 24th. The Lakeside Living Art Fair helped raise funds for the Orion Art Center, which allows them to offer camps, classes, scholarships, and community outreach programs at little or no cost to its members. Lauren Denowith, director of the Orion Art Center, commented about the involvement of the festival.
Well, it's an amazing event because in the very first year, Dragon on the Lake was a couple of inflatables, a couple of crafts, and the chalk drawing contest. And now it's become really a full-fledged community festival. And we've been able to move the route into the downtown and have an art fair this year. And it's just really transformational, I think.
The Dragon Boat races weren't a part of the festival until its second year, but have quickly evolved to become the focal point over the last 4 years. Sunday, August 25th, 30 teams of paddlers gathered in Greens Park to compete for the coveted Dragon Trophy. Director of the Dragon Boat races, Rob Kavanaugh, gave us the lowdown on the rules of the race and tips on how to win the competition.
The teams here are competing for the prestigious Dragon Cup. It's a 80-pound beautifully carved dragon by one of our local artists in the area. And what it is every team will race 3 times. And what Dragon Boat racing really is, it's basically drag racing in a canoe with 22 of your best friends. And the team that can paddle in unison together and be efficient with the paddle in and out of the water and be in cadence all together, working together as a team, we'll get across that finish line the fastest at the end of the day.
With more people participating in the boat races than ever before, you'd think someone would have been able to knock 3-time reigning champs, the Island Bombers, out of first place. But the Bombers came to win, and it's no surprise they did just that.
So I think it's safe to say you guys are a dynasty now. How does it feel?
It feels great. Feels great.
Yeah. What a great team. Couldn't ask for more. We did exactly what we tried to do.
Friends,
Lead all day
family,
long.
and team.
Yep. Got it.
So now the only question is, what are you guys going to do to celebrate?
Well, we're gonna go down to the beer tent and enjoy downtown Lake Orion.
The Lake Orion High School football season officially kicked off on Friday, August 30th, with the Dragons traveling across town to Oxford to take on the Wildcats in a battle for the Double O Trophy. Oxford took a 14-7 lead, heading into halftime on a 30-yard touchdown pass from Glacier Wallington to Mitch Tilley. Lake Orion was able to drive down the field to start the third quarter, tying the game at 14 with a 41-yard pass from Connor Grant to Zach Arnold. But the weather took a turn for the worse, and threat of lightning caused the game to be postponed at the third quarter. The game picked up again Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. After allowing an Oxford field goal, Lake Orion scored 2 unanswered touchdowns, one on a 90-yard kickoff return by Corey Esther. Then Dominic Giovinazzo scored on an 11-yard run up the middle on their very next possession to put Lake Orion ahead 28-17. With just 48 seconds left to play, Oxford's Wallington ran the ball in himself, pulling the Wildcats to within 5 points. Oxford then recovered an onside kick and drove the ball down to the Lake Orion 37. The game ended on a desperate Hail Mary attempt that was picked off by Lake Orion. The final score, Lake Orion 35, Oxford 30. Orion Township invited residents to get in the fall frame of mind with Barn Days on September 7th. The annual Fall Festival celebrates the relocation of the historic Porritt Barn to Friendship Park from its original location. Visiting families had a wide variety of activities to choose from, including a petting farm, pony rides, hay mazes, and games. A wagon ride took visitors through the woods where Civil War reenactors fired shots at each other. The price of admission benefits Orion Township's community programs and services. On Saturday, September 21st, community members came together to organize a concert to honor and benefit Lake Orion's warrior princess, Elena Zalek, who was diagnosed with leukemia in July of 2013, and due to some complications during treatment, was left in dire health condition. The benefit concert raised over $30,000 for little Elena and her family. That same day, Golick Buick GMC hosted a classic car show to benefit Love Inc., a nonprofit organization that links local churches, volunteers, and service agencies to help those in need. More than 300 classic cars were on display throughout the grounds of the dealership, while several thousand car enthusiasts stopped by throughout the day.
We do 4 of these shows every summer. This is the culmination of the 4, and for 7 straight years, this has been a pretty big show. And when the weather cooperates, we really get some great attendance. And today, weather considered, we've done very well. The show benefits Love Inc., and it's a free show for the cruisers, and all the entertainment and all the things that you see going on out here today is all free. And then Love Inc. Raises some money through some sponsorships and nice contributions in the community. And so it's a way for us to kind of help them and give back to the community. And it's a fun event.
On Wednesday, September 25th, Lake Orion's art community gathered at the Diamond Dave building on M24 for an opening reception. Dave Sherman donated 2 floors of space so that the Art Center can offer pottery and painting classes throughout the year.
The space upstairs is designated for use as a pottery studio. So people can take classes, kids, teens, adults. People can custom make classes if they want and come with the group and make whatever they want, coffee cups or tiles or whatever they want. So the space upstairs is designated as a pottery studio, and we'll be offering pottery classes out there.
The Orion Township Library held a special ceremony on Saturday, September 28th, renaming the Orion Room after James Ingram, a longtime library patron and supporter who passed away in 2008 at the age of 72. Friends and colleagues joined library board members and staff to officially dedicate the James Ingram Room. Ingram's estate donated a substantial gift to the library. In fact, it's the largest gift the library has ever received. The funds will be used to help preserve the history of Lake Orion. Jim was a 5th-generation Lake Orion resident who wrote Time Tracks, a historical article that appeared in the Lake Orion Review for years. On Thursday, October 3rd, Chamber members gathered at 51 North Brewery for a light lunch and announcements from Executive Director Elena Campbell. Those in attendance were given a puzzle to unscramble, which revealed directions to another location in the village. That location, 46 West Shadbolt, is the new home to the Chamber's offices. The Chamber had been in its former location on Lapeer Road for 10 years, but had been looking for a new location for more than a year.
Well, we were looking for a larger space. We were also looking for a space that would be big enough so that our members could utilize the space. We'll now have a boardroom that our members will be able to use if they need to meet with clients, and that's a wonderful benefit to their membership in the Chamber. The other reason is we really did want to be downtown. It just makes sense for the Chamber of Commerce to be in the downtown area of a community. So it's exciting to be down here in Village of Lake Orion.
Later that evening, more than 200 women converged in Lake Orion to enjoy gifts and refreshments from 20 different businesses in the downtown area for Babes on Broadway. Starting at Valentino's restaurant, participants traveled from business to business, getting their bingo cards filled out along the way. The evening ended at 51 North Brewery, where the cards were turned in with hopes of winning one of many raffle prizes. The event is the brainchild of Marcella Costin, owner of Simply Marcella, who partnered with the DDA to make the event possible.
Our mission really is to make it just a fun night for these ladies. I mean, that's what a ladies' night should be. Fun, relaxing, no pressure. Hopefully they're seeing what Lake Orion has to offer. They're discovering new businesses. It's been great just tonight hearing probably 20 or 30 ladies say they've never even been in our boutique before, or it's their first time to Lake Orion. So the experience, we want to be positive, so it leaves them with a good vibe about what we have to offer them here in Lake Orion.
On Saturday, October 5th, visitors were able to sample over 100 varieties of craft beer and ciders, as well as special editions of beer provided by various breweries. Throughout the new layout, there was music, food, games, and even some family-friendly fun. Things kicked off with the ceremonial tapping of the keg, provided by Rochester Mills Brewery.
One! There you go. All right.
Although Canterbury Village's Sea Pub has hosted an Oktoberfest event for 10 years, it's only the second time the village has joined forces with Kroger and CBS Radio to host the Michigan Brewers Oktoberfest.
Year two, obviously right over your shoulder, we were in the field last year. Kind of a nice atmosphere, but a little bit stale. So this year, with obviously the ambiance of Canterbury Village, we moved it down into the village part, into the shopping, and it's just a much better setting. Actually, it's probably one of the best settings that I've been to for a beer festival, and I've been to quite a few of them, so it's kind of nice.
Lake Orion High School's Homecoming Week kicked off on Sunday, October 6th, with a parade that made its way through the streets of the downtown area. All of Lake Orion's schools were represented, and the homecoming court was introduced to the crowds that lined the streets. On the following Friday, the varsity football game between the Dragons and Pontiac Phoenix took place at Dragon Stadium, where a new king and queen were crowned during halftime. ONTV's Chris Arita brings us the highlights.
A rowdy crowd filled the stands at Dragon Stadium on Friday, October 11th, when the 6-1 Dragons hosted the winless Phoenix team. It turned out to be a lopsided affair, as the Dragons put up 4 touchdowns in the first quarter alone. Dominic Giovinazzo got the party started on this 70-yard touchdown scamper to give his team an early 7-0 lead. Following a Phoenix fumble that was recovered by the Dragons on the 48-yard line, quarterback Connor Grant finds Corey Esther, who was tackled at the 15. Just a few plays later, Grant connects with Zach Green, who powers his way into the end zone for a 2-touchdown lead. Pontiac struggled to move the football in the first quarter, and following a turnover on downs, Giovinazzo takes the ball right up the middle for a 17-yard touchdown, his second of the game. Before the first quarter could expire, the Dragons once again moved the ball down the field. Here, Josh Bays snags a nifty completion to set up another scoring opportunity. This time, Chris Lee goes 10 yards for the 4th Dragons score of the game. Phoenix quarterback Seth Cunningham continued to struggle in the second quarter. His deep pass is picked off by Drew Casey. Casey's 70-yard pick six put the Dragons up 35-0. Later, Matt Krause's 2-yard plunge into the end zone was the team's 6th touchdown of the first half. Lake Orion 42, Pontiac 0. During halftime, Lake Orion's homecoming court was paraded out onto the field. Last year's king and queen Andre Bonneville and Reagan Moran returned to Dragon Stadium to crown the 2013 king and queen. Bonneville placed the crown on the head of Tanner Siebold, and Brianna Anderson was crowned 2013's homecoming queen. Back to the action. Even with the second and third stringers in the game, the Dragons had no problem moving the ball. Here, Justin Pavlicek rips off a 30-yard gain before taking a shot inside the 10. 2 plays later, Zach Serzo takes the handoff outside and turns the corner for another Dragons touchdown. Pontiac finally got on the board in the fourth quarter when Jalen Neely scored on a 5-yard run. But the Dragons came right back with their 8th touchdown of the game when Pavlicek scored on an impressive 28-yard run with just under 6 minutes left in the game. Now, there were a lot of highlights in this game, but the moment that whipped the crowd and the Dragons team into a frenzy happened late in the fourth quarter. With 1:07 left on the clock and the Dragons leading 55-13, Jabari Long was brought in as the running back for the first time all season. The 5'2", 130-pound senior took the handoff and, well, we'll let it play out.
Look at this, look at this! Inside! Hey, how about that? 63 yards out! Touchdown, Jabari Long! Touchdown, Jabari Long. Look at the Lake Orion Dragon bench. They are carrying him off the field. What a great sight, folks. What a great sight. What a great run. 63-yard touchdown run by Jabari Long. His first carry of the season. I don't know how you top that. I really don't.
This is a moment everyone in attendance will never forget, and Jabari has a story he'll be able to tell his grandkids.
Tell us how that felt.
It felt great. As soon as I broke through the line and I started sprinting down the field, it felt like the best thing ever to run like 63 yards and make it all the way.
For ONTV Sports, I'm Chris Arita.
As Halloween approached, Orion Township's community program staff invited families to get in the spirit of the season with Boo Bash, an annual community event that offered games, activities, and refreshments. On Friday, October 18th, 100 kids arrived at the Orion Center, where there were activities both inside and outdoors, including a wagon ride to a pumpkin patch. The event was organized by recreation programmer Rebecca Minkwitz with the help of numerous volunteers.
The kids would get a chance to get their face painted. We have crafts, we had cider and donuts, we had carnival games, there was a bounce house, there was a trick-or-treat street, and then we had a hay wagon ride that took them out to our makeshift pumpkin patch where the kids all got to pick their own pumpkin.
On Wednesday, October 30th, families began to gather near the Eamon Center at 6 p.m. for the start of the Lake Orion Halloween Parade. Participants turned onto Broadway from Elizabeth Street and headed into the downtown area of the village. Due to the perfect weather on Wednesday evening, it's estimated that more than 1,000 people made their way into the downtown area. Dozens of businesses stayed open late and handed out treats to the costumed characters that came to their door. In Children's Park, volunteers handed out cider and donuts. The event was organized by the Lake Orion Downtown Development Authority with the help of downtown retail stores, volunteers, and the police department. Members of the community arrived at the Melash Palace Chrysler dealership on Saturday, November 2nd, to take part in the Lake Orion Lions' annual Christmas for Everyone charity auction and dinner. About 300 people showed up for the event to enjoy dinner and to bid on more than 200 items donated by area businesses and individuals through both silent and live auctions. Money raised at the event helps fund the Lions Club's annual Christmas basket program. The Melash Palace Chrysler dealership on M24 has hosted the fundraiser for 7 years. Everyone involved volunteers their time so that all the money raised through ticket sales and auctions will go toward the Christmas basket program.
Well, when you're a local businessman, I mean, that's just part of your duty to do that. I mean, if you're successful, then you have to share the success with everybody else, especially the people on the lower end, and you need to do it willingly and look for ways to do it, and this is a no-brainer for me. It actually makes me feel good. So.
On Saturday, November 9th, the organization Ladies Love and Charity held its largest fundraiser to date. 100 vendors set up shop inside Lake Orion High School for the Fall Shopping Spectacular Craft and Vendor Expo, offering a wide variety of products and services, as well as food and refreshments. It was the second time the event was held at the high school, and participation has grown considerably. Through table fees, a silent auction, and a 50-50 raffle, the goal was to benefit A Mother's Wish, a local organization that serves families affected by breast cancer.
Every vendor paid a table amount, which is going 100% to the charity. We have not required, but most of the vendors will donate a certain portion of their proceeds to the charity. The silent auction is 100% going to the charity. The only thing we kept was to be able to pay, what we had to have to rent the school. So other than that, all the funds, we're really hoping we have a company, Woman's Life, that's matching the first $500 we've earned. So our hope is that we can turn over a good $3,000 or $4,000 or more to the charity today.
To coincide with the start of deer hunting season, the Orion Center hosted Ladies' Night Out on Friday, November 15th, encouraging area women to play while their men were away. In its third year, Ladies' Night Out gives area women an opportunity to shop, eat, and enjoy some entertainment at the Orion Center. Vendors set up tables throughout the center, offering jewelry, health and beauty products, and a wide variety of services. Visitors were also treated to food and dessert, and a little wine if they chose to partake. Entertainment came in the form of Tim McGraw tribute artist Alan Scott. On Wednesday, December 4th, the GM Orion Assembly Plant hosted a press conference to announce the most recent recipients of Plant City grants from the GM Foundation. A total of $50,000 was awarded to 5 different community groups: the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan, Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency, Care House of Oakland County, Lake Orion Veterans Memorial, and the Clinton River Watershed Council. Each month, the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce hosts a luncheon for its members. Normally, networking occurs and speakers provide valuable information, but December's luncheon was special. 2013's Business Person of the Year was introduced to those in attendance.
What a great community this is. I'm just so proud to be a part of it. There's a lot of people that work hard like I do that deserve this also. So it's very humbling to be honored in this special way. So thank you, Chamber. Thank you, guests. Thank you, my employees, and thank you. And I love Lake Orion. Thank you.
The Lake Orion community gathered at Galling Buick GMC on M24 to take part in the Holly Jolly Folly. Not only does the event kick off a fun-filled holiday weekend, but it also is the largest fundraiser for Lake Orion's nighttime lighted Christmas parade. More than 300 people enjoyed food, music, and fun, and even Santa and Mrs. Claus made an appearance. This is the 7th year Galling Buick GMC hosted the event, and they take care of all of the expenses so that the proceeds generated by ticket sales and a silent auction go right to the Orion Area Parade Group and scholarships.
The whole community is actually invited. We expect 340 people tonight, which is a pretty big deal considering I think 7 years ago we were lucky to get 200. So we've grown each year. I think people here have a great time, and I think that's why they come out. It's not a real expensive night out, and they know it's for a good cause.
24 hours later, Lake Orion residents lined the streets in the village for the start of the Lake Orion Lighted Parade. Spectators quickly forgot about the bitter cold as approximately 75 entries wound their way through the streets of the downtown area. The theme of this year's parade was Once Upon a Christmas Time in Orion, and participants included civic organizations, marching bands, scout groups, local dignitaries, and more. Near the front of the parade was the 2013 Citizen of the Year, John Spakeski, who was recognized for his significant contributions in the community over the past 20 years. The Citizen of the Year was selected by representatives of the Orion Area Parade Group, the organization that works year-round to make the Christmas parade possible. After years of holding a daytime parade, Lake Orion switched to a nighttime lighted parade in 1995, and 18 years later, participation continues to grow, making the parade the largest in the state of Michigan and quite possibly the country. With the parade taking part Saturday evening, Santa had some time to kill during the day, so he made an appearance at the Orion Center for the township's Cookies with Claws event. Approximately 100 kids, along with their parents, arrived at the Orion Center on Saturday afternoon to take part in some holiday activities and for some one-on-one time with Santa Claus. Upon Santa's arrival, he read "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" to the little ones in attendance. Then he moved into another room where he posed for photos with kids and listened to their Christmas wishes. Kids were also invited to make a thumbprint ornament to take home as a souvenir, decorate a holiday cookie, and mix a batch of reindeer food to leave out on Christmas Eve. On December 11th, the Art Center kicked off its 13th annual Holiday Artist Market, where shoppers were able to find one-of-a-kind, handcrafted works of art. On Thursday, December 12th, the Art Center hosted a reception where visitors were able to meet some of the artists whose works were on display, including jewelry, portraits, pottery, and more. And finally, after months of planning and fundraising, more than 50 volunteers of all ages gathered at the Cirque building on Friday, December 20th, to get to work on the Lake Orion Lions Christmas Basket program. 150 families, as well as 100 senior citizens, are served by the program that provides food and presents during the holidays.
Well, today is our biggest event of the year, the Christmas Basket program, the one we really look forward to. And we get volunteers from all over the community to come and do the shopping, as you see here. And after months of preparation and food collection and our auction and Goodfellow papers all pay for this food, we get everybody here and spend the day Friday spreading it all out and sorting it. And then in the afternoon we do the shopping where everybody gets a list of a family and goes around and picks out food and gifts for those people.
Once the food and gifts were sorted, volunteers returned on Saturday to deliver the goods to each family. And once again, we're reminded how generous and caring the people of the Orion area can be. That wraps up this look back at the year of 2013. On behalf of all the hardworking staff and volunteers that make ONTV News possible, I'm Kayla Brandon. Thanks for watching, and Happy New Year, Lake Orion.